Right, welcome guys to the Slowpoke World's 20 decks in 20 days, and today I think I've got one of the best budget decks coming out of Rebel Clash. You can two-shot everything and take one-shots and some stuff as well. Let's get involved. Guys, welcome to the Slowpoke World, where today we've got ourselves another deck, 20 decks in 20 days, another Rebel Clash deck obviously, and today we've got Luxray, straight Luxray. Now I think there's a couple different ways you could play Luxray. I reckon Luxray Zapdos could be rather good. Me and Joe from Moneypoke have been working on that list. But I also think straight Luxray has some merits too. Raid is a very good build around attack, which does 1 for 60. But if this Pokemon evolves from Luxray this turn, it does 100 more. So 1 for 160 is really good, in all honesty. It's sort of a really nice one-shot. Two-shot I should say, into Dragapult and other VMAXs with elctropowers factored in obviously, and a one-shot on stuff like the Dene and non-GX stuff as well. Very, very good. So let's get into it. So we are starting with 3 of the Luxray. Now I wouldn't mind a 4th, but space. But like I said, Raid is a really good attack. 160 HP as well, very good. And then it actually has a second attack as well, so you can attach 1 more energy and then do headbutt. But we are going to be we're going to try to be doing Raid most of the time. Now we play this Luxio, and I think this Luxio is the only reason why a straight Luxray build is even possible, because the Luxio has an ability. If you take it from as your top deck for the turn, you can put it straight onto the bench. Okay, so that's a really nice ability. And with stuff like Oranguru and potentially even Makaga, but we're not playing that. You can just endlessly be having this as your top deck, which is obviously really nice. And sometimes you will just raw top deck it, because we do play 4 obviously. So you go, oh, there you go, get a Luxio on the bench, and that takes your pressure off having to find them every turns as well. So the Luxio is kind of cool. And obviously you could put the disconnect one in here if you really wanted to, or maybe I've just played one of the disconnect ones, but I haven't really thought it's necessary yet, but it is an option. Now we are playing the 50 HP Shinx with the ability, which means if you're going second you can evolve it straight away, with the idea being that if you can get a Luxio down on your first turn, it means you can threaten Raid on your next turn nice and easily, right? And if you can get 2 Luxios, and you're really taking the pressure off yourself. But the sort of drawback to playing this Shinx is that because it's only got 50 HP, Dragapult can just destroy it in 1 turn, which is, you know, a bit annoying. The other Shinx does have 60. I've actually got one here thinking about it if you want to look. But yeah, I'm opting for the evolutionary advantage one, because we are going to be super slow if we don't get a Luxio down turn 1. Going second, so yeah, I've opted to play the evolutionary advantage Shinx. I do think it's worth the trade-off. We then played 2 Zapdos. I did mention that a sort of a Zapdos Luxray deck could be better than a Luxray Zapdos deck, but Zapdos is still a really good attacker in this deck, because for Thunderous Assault it obviously does 80 damage if it became the active this turn, and we are playing stuff like Scoop Up Neps and Switches. So yeah, we are going to try, and so if we can't get the full-on Luxray off, Luxray Raid into Thunderous Assault is good damage, right? Lets us knock out most of the basic V Pokemonizations and stuff like this. And it's just a really strong attacker with E powers and stuff. Let's not forget Zapdos was its sort of own archetype for a very long time, and it's still a very good interim attacker, especially since we're only trying to be 1 prize. Zapdos is a big beefy, you know, 110 HP basic that can, you know, with E powers can start getting to silly numbers. Play 1 Coco and 1 Coco V, well 1 Coco Prism I should say, and 1 Coco V. Coco V is just going to be a big beat stick really, so let's say we can't really get a Zapdos out. I was getting towards late game, we want to just sort of do a big burst of damage. Thunderous Bolt obviously does 200, and with E-Powers we can get to, you know, 230, 260, which is really, really nice in all honesty. Spike Draw is also a nice 1 for 20, draw 2, not bad if you can get it out early. It's also got a free retreat cost. So what I guess Coco V, what I find it really good for is A, clean up KOs late game. And let's say your opponent had a bit of a poor start, you can just try and KO their basic, their like Lonezation or whatever really fast with Thunderous Bolt. Because don't forget, you can get that going in 1 turn with Coco, Prism and Thunder Mountain. So yeah, let's not forget Coco, you know, is a good attacker. And then rounding out the list, we've got 1 Oranguru and 1 Mind Report. Now with Scoop Up Net, this is the sort of the way you want to sort of do it is Raid, you take a hit, Scoop Up Net into the next Luxio or Zapdos, evolve that Luxio, put the Shinx down, R1 Guru to put Luxray to the top of your deck, so next turn you can top deck it. And you know, that's the sort of way we're sort of trying to operate the deck. Cycling raids, and when you can't cycle the raid, cycle a Thunderous Assault. Okay, R1 Guru is sort of the engine for that, so it's really nice to have that. Obviously let you take one card from your hand, put it to the top. That's how we're going to guarantee ourselves Luxrays. And then with Scoop Up Net, Mind Report is obviously really good, almost stopping us dead drawing, because at any time we can go Mewtwo, the supporter to the top, Primate Wisdom, and draw that supporter. So Mind Report. I think in any deck where you're playing 4 Scoop Up Nets, you have to really put a Mewtwo in there. Because we are electric, Volkner is insane. Let's just grab our energy for the turn and an item. So let's just grab our elctropowers. Let's just grab Switch. Let's just grab just anything really under the sun. You can think of Evolutionary Incense. So just a really nice support, and I love search supporters. They're always my favourite. So anytime we can get full value out of Volkner, we will. For Professor's Research, because as good as searching is, sometimes you just need to see more than like a combination of 2 cards, and Professor's Research lets you do that really. And then 2 Boss's Orders, because I think every deck I'm going to play in is going to have 2. I could see a third, in all honesty. I could see a third because we are 2-shotting. So if you want to maybe cut a Volkner for a third Boss's Orders, that's fine. But for now, I think 2 has been getting the work done for me. And then 1 Thunder Mountain, because obviously we're all electric deck, so having Thunder Mountain is really cool. Now obviously you can see I haven't had room to fit the Marshadow in that gets through the stadiums. So if you are playing as Celtic Swirl, you're never going to really get Thunder Mountain into play. But I think, you know, if you do want to try and fit in a Marshadow, I'm not going to hold that against you. Now these are in the wrong order. Let's just quickly, there we go. So obviously we're electric attackers, so we are going to play 4 Elctropowers. Because obviously if you can play 2 of these, that's plus 60, play 1, that's plus 30. That lets you start hitting really big numbers, lets you start KOing Eldegoss if you go Boss's Orders plus Elctropower into raid. That's a nice strong turn there. And Elctropower is just going to let you get over that hurdle. I mean, 160 is a really good number already. But with stuff like Zapdos and Coco's attack, if you can just Elctropower yourself up there, get into the big numbers. 3 Evolutionary Incense. Now, the reason why I'm playing Evolutionary Incense over Communication, and you can probably argue Communication's better, that's fine. I'm willing to listen to that argument. But like I said, because we are playing 50 HP Shinx, we need to evolve these ASAP, okay? If we can get to the point where we have 2 Luxrays down turn 1 going second, we're in a really strong position for the rest of the game, okay? And while Communications can also help you find Luxrays in that scenario, you're sort of having to have a Pokemon in your hand as well. I'd rather just be able to guarantee having the Luxrays down nice and early, so obviously you can Volkner them out as well, and so you're not having to jump through any hoops to get your Luxrays and obviously get your Luxrays and stuff like that. But the way you do trade off is you can't obviously Zapdos, Cocos and all that stuff as well. So if you want to flip flop that count, that's fine. If you want to play maybe play 2 of each, that's fine, but for now I've set it on 3 Incense and that seems to be getting the job done nicely. 4 Quick Ball, because we need to get Shinx down. Like I said earlier, it helps us find our Cocos, lets us find Oranguru and Mewtwo's, so Quick Ball's obviously insane in a deck like this. 3 Acrobite, because you know we are a bit combo dependent, we're not going to lie, we are a little bit, we do have to find stuff every turn to keep attacking, and Acrobite just helps us do that. I'm a big fan of Acrobite in this format. And like I said, 4 Scoop Up Nets, and this is the reason why this deck can actually work, in all honesty. So like I said, so you do your raid, and normally without Scoop Up Net, once you've done raid, you're stuck doing the other attack for 120, which ain't the greatest. Scoop Up Nets lets us pick them all back up, go into the next one, go into your Zapdos, go into your Coco V, or even move a Pokemon out the way so you can get the full damage potential off on Zapdos. So yeah, Scoop Up Net's really nice. Lets us reuse our Mind Reports as well. 2 Switch, just in case, you know, we don't find our U-turn board. We are playing 1 U-turn board, there we go. Lets us reuse, so this is going to let us get Luxray out of the way, lets us get Oranguru if it gets gusted for whatever reason, or Mewtwo, all that good stuff. So I think Switch is just always a nice card to have at a 2 count. And then U-turn ball, because Luxray has a 1 retreat cost, Luxray has a 1 retreat cost, so does Shinx. So this is going to let us hopefully have a pivot throughout the whole game really, if we can just put it on someone and just, yeah, leave it there. 2 Ordinary Rod, because while we are picking up our Pokemon, we are discarding energy all the time, and whilst we have got Coco to reattach them, we are potentially going to run out soon, so Ordinary Rod lets us reuse them. Also, if a Luxray gets knocked out, that's like a whole line of Pokemon, we can just start putting them back in. That's also very good, but you could potentially cut one of them for something else. Maybe an Electro Charger, that's like a 61st card for me in this list. 4 Speed Energy, so like I said, so if you're having to use Volkner as our supporter, as much as I like Volkner, you're not seeing cards with Volkner. So if you can combine a Volkner with a draw 2, you're sort of almost getting the best of both worlds, not quite. And obviously with Speed Energy as well, it just lets you draw cards, and you know, anytime you're drawing cards for extra is always good. and we play 5 basic lightnings, I believe. Yeah, and that rounds out the list. We don't need a ton of energy because Luxray attacks for 1, Zapdos attacks for 1. It's only Coco that attacks for anything other than 1, and you can always Voltner out your energy at will. So I had to sort of cut into the list somewhere, and energy was where we were cutting. So yeah, other options, you could want like a Raichu. I'm not against that. That's going to help shore up a little bit of your Dragapult matchup, because you can sort of hit them for whatever it is, 160, paralyze them, stop them from attacking, because hitting the bench here is kind of naughty. So I'm not against that. It gives up 3 prizes though, and you know in the games where you don't want to lead it, you are going to lead it. So at least with a Coco, it only gives up 2, and it lets you draw 2, and it has a free retreat cost. Whereas if you lead a Raichu, you're in big trouble. So yeah, you could also play, like I said, the Marshadow. So you can the Marshadow lets you get through the stadium, so you can play your Thunder Mountain. You can also play Faber in that vein as well. So yeah, that's about it really. So yeah, that's Luxray, really good little budget deck as well. If you look, I'm not going to tell you what the value is in packs and that, but I imagine it's not a very expensive deck to play. Boss's Orders, ironically, might be the most expensive card here. So yeah, and you could just play catches if you wanted to. I did have catches in here as well, but they had to get cut for space reasons, more consistency cards. So yeah, that's been Luxray, guys. 20 decks in 20 days. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you stick around the channel because we've still got loads more decks to go. Check out the playlist if you haven't already. That's going to have all the Rebel Clash decks on there. Slowpoke World is the premier place for Rebel Clash content. Don't get it twisted. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video, much appreciated. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I try and put out as much stuff here as I can. Full deck profiles plus games, topic conversational pieces regarding anything in the TCG. Check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook. That's where I get most of the updates, sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Also check out the SoundCloud for the full bi-weekly podcast. If you're interested, if you like the conversational pieces, go check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.